huge amount going on in Canada, the world, and my home province, Alberta. It is so unbelievably frustrating. In the link of this title is the final Property Rights Select Committee of Alberta complete report, where yours truly's there. Out for everybody. There is no reason on this earth right now. CCFR, Canadian Coalition of Firearms Rights, every single mayor in Alberta doesn't take that report, my presentation, and get to hard work together, at least in the province of Alberta, to get things cemented forever and done in a constitution. Now, Donald J. Trump, the Trump administration, the White House, have published since 2018 everything the Canadian government doesn't want to publish to the Canadian people. I gave you that G7 radar. I gave you Donald J. Trump's Trump administration first and second, as well as during Joe Biden's 4-year presidency. Guess what, folks? It continued, Democrat or Republican alike, measuring all the provinces and stamping the one country called Canada. They don't care about your individual provinces. They only care about your constitutional system, your governmental policies cemented in absolute law, which I hate to tell you for the umpteenth time, it doesn't matter Alberta, BC, all the way to Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and everything in between. Doesn't matter about Quebec, Ontario, and all the separate things you all do. All you provincial leaders who know absolutely, as does the province of Alberta, how to properly go forward. Not only for firearms rights. You all claim you want the Premier of Alberta on a soapbox yesterday. Oh, I'm going to give you these property rights. As long as I'm Premier, the RCMP aren't going to listen anyway, but as long as I'm Premier, I'm going to do this. And then when my term ends and somebody else comes along, they're going to wipe it away and throw it in the garbage, like always happens in Canada, in every province, that America is done with. The Americans are done with Canada. I know. Canadians don't believe it. They don't see it. And the West, under largely conservative government provincially, apparently doesn't see this, as they're instrumental in creating this China reality over Canada, specifically in property rights. This goes well beyond, like my select committee report that's logged in the link of this title. That's a government document where I go through all of it for the entire Legislative Assembly. So apparently Danielle Smith didn't get the memo that all the MLAs have. It's right there in their library. But constitutions provincially, as laid out in that report, to cement absolutely property rights, cement absolutely municipal funding, and restricting your government on excessive taxation. Apparently none of those things are important to any Canadians or Albertans. Danielle Smith says, hey, I'm going to do this, I'm going to restrict that, I'm going to wave my magic dictator wand, give and taketh away like the Lord your God. I don't need that select committee report that a majority of the Conservatives stamped off. You can see and read. My name comes up very well. my presentation is clearly articulated, as well as the select committee MLAs who wanted more. Clearly, they wanted more in a majority, and they wanted to pursue it. Most of those are not in office anymore. Squeaky wheels get greased. Now, Danielle Smith says she's all for Alberta sovereignty. Whose sovereignty? Because it's certainly not the Alberta people. And if CCFR believes that this is going to work in monopoly of force by law and mandate in Canada, constitutionally, and without a provincial constitution cementing your property rights, taking it from the government and giving those rights to you, the people, you don't have them. You don't. And dictators come and go, and they change it like underwear. All policies. We have no stability in this country. We have only one narrative. It's called the Chinese Communist narrative. And we continue down that path. Ontario and Quebec restrict private property, the worst out of all provinces except British Columbia. These three provinces absolutely restrict private property the most. Don't ask me about the territories. You really don't want to know about the three territories. This is Communist Manifesto. Alberta, Saskatchewan are blessed that early on in history, very early on, one party, Social Credit Party, one premier in all the history of Alberta, fought and had some property rights released to you, the Alberta people. And this, of course, was also the same party. It rolled over into Saskatchewan. There were some releases. When I say some, on the equation of United States versus the equation of Communist China, Alberta and Saskatchewan, although the most, are most representative of the Communist China reality in what's property rights, where most land in Alberta is leased, never to be owned by anybody. It's most closely associated with Communist China than it's ever even remotely close to USA. And I'm telling you all today in this video, as I was honest in 2022 on my birthday, that's already well over 3.5 years ago, and the government hasn't moved a muscle. And if you Albertans in independence, sovereignty, Alberta autonomy can't address this number one issue, numero one, property rights, aka through your provincial constitution, where you find it, which is absolutely the source of all municipal funding of every town, village, hamlet, city. If you can't figure that out as adults in the world today as it really is, and you're still going to go to all these other rabbit holes without doing, number one, a provincial constitution where the two largest rights clearly displayed in the American model, 50 states of the Union, the number one most codified, meaning largest volume of page after page, some going up as high as 900 pages, where 600 of those pages are just your one, property rights, two, your water rights. Resources are there too. They got a lot of pages, but in America, there's absolutely no restrictions on that statewide. Easily presented and found. It's been presented many times. It's the Constitutional Acts 1787 by the United States of America. Those provisions by the Founding Fathers put in the more perfect Union Constitution. And Canadians still haven't figured this out. After 155 plus years, 100 years and 120 years of Alberta, you still haven't figured it out. Even though there's a multitude, at least in the province of Alberta, by the Select Committee on what? Property rights. It's all there for you. And my name is the number one source. And in a majority of at least those MLAs 3.5 years ago were all for it. All of a sudden in comes a new premier. In the garbage it goes. Where you all are, as you will always continue to be, premier after premier, prime minister after prime minister. It's why businesses don't flourish in Canada. Because you're in a constant state of up, down, everything going good, crunch, everything going good, crunch. Nobody can run a business like that. Nobody can run a private economy like that. So what do you get? A massive public sector, service sector economy, which is exactly what Canada is. Excruciatingly only what it is, which means our radar towards China continues to go off the charts. And I am sorry, but if you want to know the truth of it, through President Donald J. Trump, and even through all of Joe Biden, and now again President Trump, who it's never been, you'll find all of it there, measured entirely. It shows you the source, mostly Western provinces. So please, everybody, whether you're CCFR or you're like my friend Andrew Knack, running for mayor of Edmonton, take the Select Committee report. Take that to Danielle Smith and say, why have you, in 3.5 years, you became premier right after that. You took that and you threw it in the garbage. Why would you do that? Why the number one source of your humanity, the start of real civics, the start of real civil rights, your human rights, starts with property. If you doubt that, you need to read any constitution you want out of any one of the 50 states of the Union. You pick one. I don't care what right, left, lean you lean on. Please go grab that and look up property rights in any constitution, any Democrat state, any Republican state. I don't care. You will find the truth of what I've said to you. You will find the truth of every American there. And you will see how very, very important it is to have a regional constitution when you're a federalism, even in this crap monarchy. People keep saying these things over and over. And it's not just firearms, and it's not just the massive truth of all municipalities, which is not a joke when you talk about levels of government. This is the community level. Albertans, Canadians, this is the community level out of the family unit. And in human rights, that is the number one source of human rights, is the family unit into the community. If you ever want to know a country that codifies and cements that entirely like nowhere else in the world, a Christian country, that is the United States of America. That is all 50 states of the Union. And if you've missed that, or you can't get to that place, in the link of this title, it's there for you. That report done in one province of Alberta, my contribution to not only the province of Alberta, largely it's for all regions of this country. And I went on to do a Constitutional Conventions Act for every premier in every province. I handed all that in, every single one of them. And you know what they did with it? It went into the garbage. If you're an aspiring municipal politician and you see what's in the news hard today, you see the funding of municipalities being cut, being terminated by provinces as they battle with the federal government, you need to address property rights. You need that. You need that revenue source in your communities. You need to have control of that. And you want that control? You need that control to be in the hands of the people. Because no two communities are the same, just like no two families are the same. Americans figured this out long before the War of Independence. I am so sorry, Canadians, but you are highly devolved. What you think and know of America, you have no clue. They are very highly advanced in civics and municipal and state design, far beyond any measurement of a Canada model. There is no Canadian model that comes close anywhere in Canada, remotely close to anything in the United States that is 10 times more advanced. At its worst state level, it's still 10 times more advanced than anything you'll ever find in Canada, because there is nothing to find. Dictators, premiers who change the rules at will, just like your federal government at the federal level changes the rules any day of the week that supreme leader wants to. We talk about Iran's supreme leader. Do you think Prime Minister or Premiers of Canada in their regions are any different than the supreme leader or what is Sharia law in these civil law socialist states? They're not. They're not. The worst countries in the world, the really radical European Union countries, are entirely a model of Canada. You will find that's Canada's model. A federalism, it's a bullshit federalism. Everything they accuse Russia of is absolutely what's codified for Canada. Entirely. And they'll go, look over here. Donald J. Trump, just yesterday, we all saw the UN video. I hope everybody did. You think that's something? His Russia publication is a damning document against Canada, a NATO country. That was for you, Canada. That's for you, premiers and prime ministers, or aspiring, or historical, left, right, center, whatever they call themselves. They are dictators who do not want constitutions from you, the people, when they can do so at the regional level, absolutely. And if you do that, and you start in your basics, property rights, number one. Because if you don't have property rights, I'm sorry, you're well on your way to China. And we are. We are. As I've told you, and as you can find from only the United States of America, because guess what? Statistics Canada quit publishing when? When Stephen Harper left office and Justin Trudeau came into office, they thought, you know what? We're not going to publish. We're not going to publish. The Conservatives said nothing. All the Conservative premiers from Western provinces were instrumental in this. That Justin Trudeau ratified for all of them. Against the United States, against the Canadian people. You don't have any resource rights. You don't have any property rights. You don't have any water rights. You have absolutely no civics or civil rights. Learn what that is. You have absolutely no real human rights. You have a charter that can be thrown in the wind at will. You already know this. Folks, this video's epic. In the link of this title is me in a damning report that most in majority of MLAs in the province of Alberta under the Conservative Party that's today, but under a different premier, a premier who hated me, but I turned all those MLAs for constitutionalism to cement your property rights by you, the people, in constitutional conventions to start the process. I even guarantee you all the best and top world academics in constitutional making, how to make a constitution, to teach all of you, and a 1-year process of constitutional conventions in every single community. I can repeat this right across Canada for all provinces. And I gave those acts specific to every single province. And it didn't matter. Conservative, Liberal, NDP, they all threw it in the garbage. They threw all of you in the garbage. So CCFR, all municipalities in Alberta and frankly the rest of Canada, you will never see viability or sustainability without that codification, meaning you need a provincial constitution. Or there will be no gun rights, no matter what Premier Danielle Smith says. And as municipalities see, you will lose funding whenever they want. Whenever that dictator in power arbitrarily says, hey, I'm cutting all your funding, even though I'm spending record amounts of money like a drunken liberal, way off the charts. You cannot find per person per capita government spending like the province of Alberta at the provincial level, remotely close to any of the 50 states of the Union. Never mind the rest of the provinces in Canada. There's some bad ones, but the worst is Alberta. You have a serious runaway spending problem. Wealthy, you're broke. And you blow more money per capita, sometimes on average 4 times more than all 50 states of the Union of America. And you want America to look at you and go, we support you, we love you? You're crazy. And without a provincial constitution, I promise you, and I have experts who will back it up. I have Republican government officials who will back it up. And if I get my say at the University of Alberta and the University of Calgary, you will all be invited to come to that. And you'll get to hear out of the mouths of them themselves. I've heard so many liars who have such huge followings say all these things, but where are you in any government documentation? Where are you with the Republican Party of the United States of America? Where are you with Senate or Congress? Because I'm miles further than anybody. And I easily and effectually can contact these people and I get responses back. And there is a delegation, a real one, no more provincial crazy bullshit, a real one that wants to present to all of you. And I'm trying really hard to make that happen in truth. From who? The Republican Party of the United States of America. Federal Republican Party. Real government officials. And I'll see if I make that reality happen. But I can tell you, whether it's Alberta or the rest of the provinces and territories, you will never see any of these rights ever without a constitution. And if you don't adopt a constitution cementing your rights to property by you, the people, you're never going to have any. Because if it's not cemented, if they don't have a law for it, the federal government takes it. People cry about Ottawa's overreach. We need notwithstanding clauses. Notwithstanding. Throw away your charter and any provincial bill of rights at will. At will. Federally and provincially. Is that a smart idea? Having no property rights, is that a smart idea? Having no water rights, is that a smart idea? Having no civil rights, is that a smart idea? Having no resource rights, is that a smart idea? Having no control over municipal and community funding, is that a smart idea for the people of that community? Is that a smart idea? It's not hard to figure out. I hope a lot of people tagged in this, when it's addressed to attention, those people, I hope you take this very well. Because if you don't, you're just blowing hot smoke in the air. And the Lord will giveth and taketh away like they always do, election after election. And if you don't have these things cemented in a provincial constitution, under provincial powers and our federalism, like every state of the union. I've said it so many times, so many different ways in this video. That's why I do that. Because some reason Canadians have blockers. They're institutionalized. I don't know what you're saying. What do you mean? That's exactly what I mean. You will never have any of these rights until you cement them in a regional constitution where your federalism gives you that. I've given massive acts of legislation that are deadly accurate, easy to implement at the provincial level where no federal government can stop it. But yet when I do that, they quickly throw out the premier and the legislative assembly and have a new snap election. That's what happened in my last presentation. We got a snap election, new premier, and throw out all the supporting MLAs. And now it's, don't worry, we're doing sovereignty, autonomy, or a referendum of independence without a constitution. Oh, we love America, but we don't want a we the people constitution at the provincial level or have any of these state rights that are identical to the USA rolled out in Canada. No. If you don't see it, I don't know what to tell you. Share, share, share. Get this video out there. It's critical. It's huge. And I'm telling you, in 2026, the summer of 2026, if none of this is shown or done anywhere in Canada, you're out with America. And we are going to lose this trade deal. It's absolute. If you don't see it, and you haven't been paying attention to Donald J. Trump at the UN, and just in his latest publication, damning Russia and basically damning all NATO members and the European Union. Who's a NATO member? Well, that's us, Canada. He's talking to all of us, but especially the northern neighbor who stands to lose the most when USA says, we can't trade with a country like yours, codified in tyranny the way it is, and subject American taxpayers to your evil. It's time to put on your big boy pants. It's time to get these things done. You've had, in some cases, 155 years to get it done. When does America pop the tit out of the mouth? Pop the bottle out of the mouth? Why are adult Canadians walking around with a soother in their mouth or on mummy's tit? This is all ages of adults. Men, women, doesn't matter, race, religion, all that. How ignorant and institutionalized you have to be. Again, click the government report 3.5 years ago now. And you want to tell me, so many people messaging me, the Alberta Prosperity Project, they threw that in the garbage too. That's called numero 1 by all Americans, Democrat or Republican, for a free and democratic society of we the people. A government beholden to the people. And you can do that at every single provincial level, territorial level. But yet you don't, and you exist closer and closer to China. And if you think the Western provinces aren't front and center on this, I hate to tell you, Donald J. Trump himself, in his first administration through this one, will tell you otherwise, because he now publishes his administration through the trade representative, publishes all this that Canada's statistics doesn't. The government of Canada doesn't, and the provinces don't, but Donald J. Trump picked it up in 2018 and continues on, going, I don't think so, Canada. We're watching you. We're watching all the NATO allies, and we're watching the G7. And who do you think is the worst of the worst, the most towards China? Of all of them, of the European Union and the G7 and of NATO, which country is the worst? I'm sorry. It's you, Canada. You are public enemy number 1 to America. Not that others have issues too, but Canada is number 1 against the United States, especially the Western provinces. Anybody want to challenge me on that truth? I will kick your ass through statistics and publication. I will show you right out of the United States of America. And you can go elbows up, conservative, liberal, NDP. I don't care, green, bloc. I don't care who you are. But I will show how you're all bullshit, you're all liars, and you're destroying the Canadian people. You're destroying your own family, and you're destroying your own humanity. Christianity, humanity, all of it. That's my video. Please, folks, Share, share, share. Get it out there. Bye now.